Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, why MrBeast claims he has negative money.
Also, are Hudson and I going to the UK?
All that and more on the way next. One of the biggest new travel trends in 2026, if you're planning your vacation, you want to keep this in mind. They call it runcations. 8772 Radio U. It is traveling to an area for your vacation with the number one thing on your list being, I want to run here. I'm going here because I think it'll be a good place to run.
Oh.
Yeah, so Allie, this could have your name all over it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. My past two vacations, I have gone on runs during those vacations.
Did you choose those places because of the running environment?
No, I didn't. But I just was like, I'm here on vacation. I can go for a run because the weather was not super bad. Although actually the last vacation it was kind of a little bit foggy out, but it wasn't terrible. But yeah, I just had fun being able to exercise on my vacation. But I've never thought about planning a vacation around a place that you can go running at. But I kind of like that. Yeah,
I think it's a really good idea. Obviously, running and running clubs and stuff have been increasing and taking off. And so that's part of what's inspiring this is that you could not only go to a place to run, but also you might be able to find a group to run with while you're there, even meet some new people and have it kind of be a social thing. But I'm actually, obviously, I'm not a runner, but I'm in on this too, as far as the idea of my vacations are half planned anyways of I want to be able to do stuff outside.
Yeah.
I want to, I go on my walks here. I want to be able to still stay active while I'm on vacation, and I might as well do that in a place that is visually pleasing to the eye, like a nice environment. I don't want it to be freezing cold, and I just don't want it to be boring.
Right.
But that's kind of central things of any vacation, which just lend itself to go ahead and get outside and do some exercise while you're there.
Might as well, yeah. I think, I actually have my a separate, apart from the regular tennis shoes I wear, I have a set of running shoes. And the brand of running shoe that I have, and I really like these shoes, are actually from Finland. They're Finnish.
Okay.
And so I think it would be really fun to take
them back
my
home.
running shoes to Finland and go on a little Finland running trip.
It's like that show where they find your ancestry or whatever for celebrities, except it's for your shoes.
Yeah.
You return them back to their homeland. I think that's a really fun idea.
Yeah. So I think this is a great thing to plan your trips around where you can go on some runs. Pick obviously some safe areas, but some fun areas to look around.
Yeah, and I think we sometimes get boxed up in the idea of vacation somewhere touristy or just relaxing.
Right.
But there's other things you can do on vacation.
100%.
And it's fun to visit other places.
Yep.
So maybe even if you might not call it a runcation, but if you have that in the back of your mind of
a place that's scenic.
Yeah, exactly. Then you might wind up planning a different vacation than maybe you initially thought. But definitely start planning that vacation because it's January. And at least I know from experience, if you don't plan vacations for yourself, all of a sudden your vacation time will get eaten up by stuff that you didn't want it to be eaten up by.
It's true.
So book it now. We have a lawsuit bear update.
What?
Remember, was it last week we talked about the bear in California? It had been living in a man's crawl space.
Oh, yes. I don't know if it was last week. I think it was maybe the week before.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It was recently. This bear had been living under a man's house in Altadena, California for months. And it got so bad to the point where because it was down there knocking electrical wires and plumbing around and whatever. It wasn't just a bear has a place to stay. It was causing issues. And the man was threatening to sue the state of California, saying that they weren't doing enough to get rid of this bear. Well, I have good news. I have an update, but I have good news. The good news is the bear has moved out.
Okay, good.
The bear has moved out thanks to the nonprofit called Bear League that's based in Lake Tahoe, where obviously in Lake Tahoe they have a lot of bears. And so they, if you were just going to you have to do something
Yeah.
to manage the bears there.
Yeah.
Humanely. And so that's kind of their thing. So they helped this guy out. They put a electrified mat under his house that was to prevent the bear. The bear didn't like that, and so the bear moved out. But it now seems that the bear may have moved into another crawl space at someone else's house.
No!
He has a real thing for crawl spaces.
He does.
It must be a nice neighborhood.
It must be, and also he must just be like at a lack of like caves or whatever. Because I feel like we believe that bears are supposed to live in caves, and he must just not have many caves around. He's like, this is a perfect cave for me.
Yeah, and who needs a cave when you've got crawl spaces under people's houses?
Yeah, it's like a cave
that they refuse to evict you from, more or less.
Right. He's like, this is a great deal.
I love thinking about like how they tried to get this bear out from under this house for so long, probably with like bait and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, ooh, an extra meal. Like, I've got this nice place to stay, and I'm just getting random
they're
fun
just
food.
feeding me all the time. I love it here.
And now, he's moved on. It must have been a rude awakening, that electrified mat, when he was living large there for so long. But he's found possibly greener pastures, and now he is someone else's problem.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to get in contact with the Bear League and just repeat this process over and over and over and over again.
Why don't they, in this area, Altadena, California? Obviously, there's been other bear sightings there as well. It's not like this is the actually first time this has happened. So why don't they just put electrified mats in front of all of the crawl spaces?
They might need to start doing that.
Yeah.
That should be, if you were an entrepreneur, this should be a good business idea.
Yes, we got to get into this.
Yes, because as we all know, the best ideas come from, problems, creating solutions to those problems. And so, out of necessity, I think somebody could profit off of this problem.
I think so. This is a need has arisen. The Bear League is a nonprofit. So we could buy the electrified mats from them and then resell them at a higher cost.
Yes, for profit.
Exactly. And install them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody's happy. So, except for the bears, because where are they going to go?
I don't know.
You know what they would do is probably just get used to the electrification.
You're right.
MrBeast just said in a recent interview that he has negative money.
Negative money.
8772 Radio U. Relatable. I understand you, MrBeast. Now you may be wondering, how is that possible?
Yeah. He's MrBeast.
He's MrBeast. He's one of the biggest YouTubers of all time. So big that obviously his media empire, his business empire has expanded well beyond YouTube to, Beast Games on Amazon Prime Video, but also to restaurants and so many, and like amusement park pop-ups and all kinds of stuff.
Candy.
Yeah, right. Feastables, of course. Is he involved in Lunchly? No, I can't remember. But yeah, he's in Lunchly.
Yeah.
So how does he have negative money? Well, this is a difference that some people always need to learn, that there's a difference between net worth and your actual liquid assets, right? Because his net worth, when you include like Beast Industries and everything, is around $5 billion.
Yeah, he'd be considered a billionaire because of his net worth.
But net worth more or less means what you are worth if you sold everything. If you sold everything
the value of what you own.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that he has $5 billion in the bank.
No.
In fact, he doesn't have, according to him, much in the bank at all. And he's even had to like borrow money from other people to be able to like have his wedding and stuff like that. Now, the reason that I'm sure he says this, he could have money in his bank, right?
Yeah, if he sold some stuff.
But anytime he like has any meaningful amount of money, he's always reinvesting it back into something else.
Yeah, spending it on a video or something.
Right. And so therefore he never just has like a lot of cash on hand.
Yeah.
Because he's always putting it towards something else. I would say, when is enough, MrBeast?
That's kind
How
of
about that next check you get? Why don't you just keep it?
That's kind of my thought process. And actually, I have thought this for years with MrBeast because MrBeast's YouTube videos, while they get hundreds of millions of views, and that's awesome, you can make a lot of money off of them, they are expensive videos to film. And so I've kind of always felt with MrBeast, he is the type of a billionaire who has to spend a lot of money to get a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like what he does is expensive. Like he's going and building all of these wells and he's going and, giving people free surgery and stuff like that. Like this is all awesome stuff, but extremely expensive. He's paying for this out of pocket. Or he's filming videos in the pyramids and stuff. Like he has to pay to do this stuff.
The budget for any one of his videos, which he puts out like just a regular YouTube video every like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're all like have several $1 million to just do one single video.
Right. And so I think for me, I have looked at him as far as being a billionaire as like he's a poor billionaire. Like he's a billionaire where it's like he got there, but like it was very expensive and continues to be expensive to even maintain that because for him to maintain it, he has to spend all the money he makes basically.
Yeah, but there's also and a lot of billionaires are like this though because when you reinvest your money, and this is like such a huge controversy of like people are like, with taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's because when you reinvest your money back into business and stuff or do nonprofits or whatever it is, that's a way to, in ways, not have your money be taxed.
Yeah.
And so it's a way of making your money work for you and not having to just give it straight away to the government.
Right.
So there's business reasons too where it's smart to just not keep, not just take a check and just have it sit there.
Yeah.
But
it does
at the
sound
same
like
time,
he needs to have a little bit more because he's making it seem as if he can't even afford McDonald's. And I'm like, that's one of the cheapest options.
If you're
out
saying
there.
negative money.
Yeah.
And but I think this should also be instructive for all of us when he's talking about like having negative money and he's got a net worth of $5 billion. Like, what are you striving? Why do you want to be a billionaire when
it's true.
You could not have anything to actually rest your head on, at the end of the day.
Everybody thinks that if they had a $5 billion net worth, it would solve all their problems. And it's like, no, you could be a billionaire and still have like very little liquidity, very little cash flow.
And by the way, probably having a billion people asking you to give them money because they think you're rich.
Right.
A major cruise line has made the controversial decision to ban children.
What?
8772 RadioU. I don't know if you've ever heard of Oceana Cruises. They're based out of Miami. They operate 8 luxury ships, and it looks like they sail basically everywhere except Antarctica. And they have decided that they will no longer accept guests under the age of 18.
Is there a reason why they're changing this? Do they just not have stuff available for kids to do? Or?
According to Jason Montag, which is Oceana Cruises' chief luxury officer.
Okay.
That's a real job. He says, our guests have consistently shared that the tranquil environment aboard our ships is one of the primary reasons they return time and time again. Not much about kids is tranquil. That was me, not him. And he goes on to say, by transitioning to an adults-only experience, we are enhancing the very essence of the Oceana Cruises journey, one defined by sophistication, serenity, and discovery.
So it kind of already sounds like potentially this cruise line was kind of more known to be adult. They just weren't official with it.
Yeah.
And now they have made it official.
That's what I'm gathering as well, is that like it's not that they had banned children before.
Yeah.
But
this isn't
they weren't catering to families
this isn't like
necessarily.
a Carnival cruise that has a whole bunch of stuff for families and kids.
I'm thinking that if you did go with kids, even if like obviously kids were allowed until now.
Yeah.
But that one might have been very awkward if you had the only kids on the entire cruise ship.
Yeah.
It'd kind of be weird. And if there's not like stuff that's meant for kids.
Yeah, it would stick out like a sore thumb.
I think that'd be a problem for everybody.
Potentially, because also like the kids, like if they don't have something for them, I can imagine you would actually get pretty bored on a cruise ship if you didn't have stuff that you could do.
Yeah, 100%. What's normally on cruise ships? Like all you can eat buffets? Okay, maybe a kid would be into that.
Yeah, I think kids would like that stuff, but like they want to go on the slides.
Yeah.
They want to do the putt-putt. They want to do all the fun stuff that's for the family-friendly cruises, the water park and all of that. So when that stuff's not available to them, I think they would be kind of boring.
Yeah, so this is probably just a decision that's best for everybody involved. I'll tell you what, too, that when you tell me something is adults only, like not kids, no one under 18, what that also signifies to me is expensive.
It signifies expensive, and it also signifies there's a lot of people getting drunk on this cruise.
Yeah.
This might be the booze cruise.
Feels like every cruise. But like this, to me, you are saying that you can afford to not have kids on because you're going to charge the smaller amount of people, because it's going to be mostly like couples probably.
Yep.
Charge them more to go on here and maybe give them a bit more of a luxury experience, but you don't need that extra money that comes in from like families. A lot of times are it's just a different total business.
It's totally different. It reminds me, I don't think they've officially banned kids. I doubt that they've made any announcements like this, but I haven't heard and I haven't looked into it. The Viking cruises, have you seen these?
I've seen Viking. They send me things in the mail all the time for some reason.
Yeah, they're the ones
and I am tempted.
They are the ones that do the boats in Scandinavia. They do the cruises in Scandinavia, and those look so nice because the boats are so much smaller than those massive cruise ships.
It's in a river, so you're always, if something goes wrong, you can just swim to land.
Yeah, I don't know how easy it is to swim in some rivers, but it's like a lot more of a premium experience because it's a smaller boat. And I feel like there's really nothing on those boats that would be for kids either.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what this gives me, like a similar vibe of like they're going to charge you a premium price because it's just for the adults.
Also, I should have mentioned this earlier, but what is another thing you think of when cruises come to mind? What's one of the top things you think of? I'll say sickness.
Oh, yeah.
Sickness.
Yeah. We've talked about that a lot.
Who is the living petri dishes that are children? If you want to cut down on that stereotype that like you go on a cruise and you get sick, and maybe have kids that are picking their noses and wiping it on doorknobs, banned from your cruise line. People might have a little healthier experience too.
Maybe. I think the big issue is that you're all just stuck on a boat together, sharing germs.
It's official. Mike Tomlin is out as Steelers head coach. 8772 RadioU. This was announced yesterday, where they are not firing him. He is stepping down after 19 seasons, never had a losing season. One of the all-time great accomplishments, I think, of a NFL head coach. He did win one Super Bowl, although that was in his second season as coach, I believe.
Yeah.
So he peaked early.
Yeah.
But still, even as upset as Steelers fans got with him, because he did have quite a long playoff losing streak here at the end, still an incredible, like one of the best coaches in the league and an incredible run there. And he's stepping away, and the Steelers, for the first time, for something very unfamiliar to them, they're going to be searching for a head coach.
Yeah, it kind of feels similar to when we talked about John Harbaugh leaving the Ravens, where it's just like these guys have become synonymous with these teams. And Mike Tomlin, certainly synonymous with the Steelers. You just expected when you're watching a Steelers game to have several shots on the sideline, and there's Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be really like weird with that not being what we see now. And my biggest question is Mike Tomlin done coaching? Is he going somewhere else? Like, is he done?
So
retiring? Because
he hasn't been fired, if I understand it right, the Steelers still have his rights.
Okay.
For however long. So, it's not, I don't think this season, he's not going to one of the other vacancies this year.
Okay.
I think he could definitely come back to coaching. He's still only 53, even though he's been coaching for 20 years, which is crazy.
Pretty young, even though, he's been coaching a long time. He's pretty young.
But I think there's also some speculation he could get into broadcasting, which he would be great at.
Okay.
Every network should. If you've ever watched Mike Tomlin at the podium, he'd be amazing as a as an analyst or probably more at the desk.
Yeah. He seems like a no-nonsense type of guy.
Yeah.
But I've also like never watched him like do a press conference or anything, so I've never even heard him talk.
His press conferences are the best.
Okay.
Just like so much confidence.
Yeah.
I think he'd be excellent on TV. I think he probably winds up at some network this offseason. Like he may be doing that before the Super Bowl. I don't know. A lot of times that winds up happening. So I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, I think this probably really makes it likely that Aaron Rodgers is not coming back.
Yeah.
That he's probably. I'm not going to write anything off because, like, Phillip Rivers came back after 5 years away for the Colts. I can maybe see Aaron Rodgers doing that for some team this season.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's coming back to the Steelers. Now,
Yeah.
I think this is a complete reset for the Steelers. They bring in a brand new coach, brand new quarterback, and, like, start over from square one.
I think I agree with you on what the Steelers will be doing moving forward. With Aaron Rodgers, I could easily see him become a Joe Flacco, a guy that moves from team to team, because even though he's older, he still is a passable quarterback in the NFL, you know? And so
as much as everybody, like, people love to dump on Aaron Rodgers, still, like, if you really had to be honest, where did you rank him this season alone?
Yeah.
He was still definitely top half of the league, if not close to top 10, even at his age.
Yeah,
So.
I would say he's at least league average, like if you're not being very generous with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no reason if you were a team like, let's say, what the Bengals went through this year, or even at the beginning of the season with the Browns losing a bunch of people, if you're in that situation, you can't tell me that an Aaron Rodgers would not be appealing to you.
Yeah. Oh, he'll definitely. I feel like he's going to get calls.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to answer them.
Yeah, I don't know if he
or
wants
if he
to take
wants to
them.
move into maybe not broadcasting, but something of that nature too. I think the Steelers bring in Brian Flores.
Okay.
Because he had been with the Steelers for a season. He's still pretty young. Like he could do 20 years. The Steelers don't fire coaches.
Yeah.
And he really fits the vibe of Pittsburgh. Like again, he was there, but hard-nosed defensive coach, a lot of toughness.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a great choice. And maybe they get Malik Willis from Green Bay.
Maybe.
At quarterback, and they run it right back, and the Steelers are in the playoffs again next year.
Right.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Yeah. There is a new highest grossing actor of all time. And I bet if you haven't seen the headline, you wouldn't be able to guess who it is.
I think that's a correct assumption. I would not have guessed this, but also it makes perfect sense that it is this person.
Once you lay out the movies that this person has been in, you're like, oh, yeah, of course. But if you just heard the name, you would be shocked. And the name is Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
She just crossed over to be, I believe she passed Scarlett Johansson, right, for the highest grossing actor of all time. And that, in this case, what is adding to her total is the new Avatar movie, Fire and Ash.
Yeah, which has made over $1 billion in like a month's time.
And she's been in all of the Avatar movies, so obviously that's going to really pump your name up the list, just those alone.
Yep.
But you also think she's been in some Star Trek movies, some Guardians of the Galaxy, a bunch of the Marvel stuff.
Yep. She was in Endgame.
Right.
She was in Infinity War.
So yeah, she's been all over in a lot of these blockbuster movies, but mostly thanks to Avatar.
Yeah.
She is now the highest grossing actor of all time.
I mean, that's a cool feat to have. Just to get there, you got to be a part of some massive franchises, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she has just worked out to be a box office darling, really. Like, and I don't think it's... Here's the thing. Like, I think if you were talking about movies from, like, the 60s, it would be like, oh, yeah, it's because of them. Like, the star is what's drawing them to the movie. But it's like, she's kind of just lucked out by being in these franchises that are extremely popular. Like, no one's really going to watch these because Zoe Saldana is. I'm sure some people are, but it's like, that's not the reason we go see movies anymore. It's not because of the stars. It's because of the story and the franchise.
I mean, there's some stars that are like that. But I don't think she...
But they're not making billions of dollars.
No. But like, I think Leonardo DiCaprio is one. It's like, that's a name that would get people to see a movie that otherwise they might not care about.
Yeah.
I don't think Zoe Saldana works that way.
It does. Yeah, she doesn't work that way.
And what's crazy to me is I watch a lot of movies, and obviously I know her name.
Yeah.
I swear to you, if it wasn't for the T-Mobile commercials, I would not be able to pick her out of a lineup.
Really?
Well, you never see her face in the movies either.
Well, in Star Trek, she looks normal. She's not all
True.
like a different color.
But I wouldn't have even that wasn't the first thing I would have thought of with her. But I mean, that is true. But all where she's made her money primarily is Avatar and the Guardians of the Galaxy, where you can't see her actual face.
Yeah, well, you could see it, but she's covered up with makeup and different hair and all of this different stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, also too, like, she's the kind of person that, do you think your parents know who she is? Like, you know what I mean? It's a name they would recognize, but I don't feel like they would probably know much about her either.
My parents wouldn't know who she is.
Yeah,
no shot.
I'd be very surprised if my mom had a lot of knowledge about Zoe Saldana either.
I mean, your mom might be listening. She can let us know.
Let us know. What is your awareness of Zoe Saldana? But I mean, obviously a huge accomplishment, and it's not by accident.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of baffling.
Yeah.
It says a lot about Avatar, pretty much.
Right. All right. I guess I'm starting this food fight off, Hudson.
On the menu today.
We've got Cadbury's Wispa Bar. Cadbury's Wispa Bar is actually from the UK, and I got my hands on this because of my cousin Kathy. Somebody from her work, I guess, recently went to the UK, brought these back, was sharing these, and
they love the show, and they said, make sure Hudson and Allie get some of these.
Kathy loves the show, and she was like, I think this would make a good food fight to try a candy bar from the UK. So I'm going to open this. It's got the classic Cadbury purple wrapping, and then it says Wispa across the front in red letters. You can see this if you want on our YouTube channel, RadioU Mornings, or also on Facebook.
And why does Wispa just sound so British?
It does, doesn't it? All right, I'm just going to cut this thing in half. And then you can have this half.
Okay, and what am I chewing into here? Like, what is...
It almost looks like a Mars bar or something inside.
It doesn't have like a description. It just says milk, contains milk, may contain nuts. I love how it says may contain. We're not too sure.
We're not too sure about that.
We definitely have a recipe and stuff. It might contain nuts. It just depends on what we were doing that day.
Well, you could try it here. I'll read the AI overview for everybody.
Okay, perfect. I'll take a bite.
It's not that crunchy, by the way, but that's our crunchy bite sound effect. The Cadbury Wispa Bar is a popular UK milk chocolate bar known for its bubbly, melt-in-your-mouth texture, similar to a Rolo, but without caramel. And it features tiny air bubbles within its smooth milk chocolate, with a popular gold version adding a soft caramel layer. And both the original and gold are iconic treats loved by many, often available in different sizes.
I wouldn't have thought Rolo. I don't know why that's the thing they mentioned, but it is something unique. I don't know what other candy bar we have here in the United States that would be similar to this.
Yeah.
Because it's literally chocolate, and then it's filled with chocolate, but the chocolate is like airy. It's bubbly inside.
It's aerated, I think is how they describe it.
But it's not a different flavor.
Yeah.
But it is a really nice just like texture, and it's more, there's something nice about it that versus if you just ate a straight up chocolate, like a chunk of chocolate.
And this is bringing me back, Hudson, because it has a classic Cadbury chocolate flavor. If you've ever had Cadbury, like, this is just Cadbury.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Cadbury chocolate.
I devour cream eggs at Easter time if I get the chance.
Cadbury was hugely popular where I grew up in Zambia because Zambia was a British colony, so they have a lot of British import type of things. And so, I love this. So I'm really happy we got to try this as a fun international food fight for everybody.
Yeah. No, this is good. Thank you to Kathy and her UK visiting friend for bringing these back.
her coworker.
I will say, in Canada, Cadbury also very much more popular than it is here in the United States. And they have in Canada what it's called the Aero Bar, which is essentially exactly this.
Really? Okay.
I'm curious if it's literally the same thing and they just have it rebranded in Canada versus in the United or versus in the UK.
It's the Cadbury Aero Bar?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Cadbury, and it's Aero. It's like AERO.
Okay.
And it's the same style though, where it's like chocolate on the outside and then the bubbly aerated chocolate on the inside. And there was I remember growing up and getting it in a variety pack for Christmas literally every year. And it wasn't the first chocolate bar I would choose out of the variety pack, but it was always like, you're not going to not eat the Aero bars because they're really good.
Yeah, looking at it, it looks slightly different, just like the mold of what they put the chocolate in. But the chocolate itself looks pretty much the same of what you're getting in the Wispa bar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, either way, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the UK knows what they're doing with chocolate.
I agree.
And I'm glad that we can get access to some Cadbury things here because yet again, we're getting close to cream egg season. And I always have to I have to hold myself back from going too crazy because I love the cream eggs.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, this is the first ever Food Fight World Tour. We're going to have to do this again. If you ever have any international or even snacks from across the United States that are more regional, let us know. We'd be happy to taste them. We are doing Would You Rather Wednesday. The question today is, I'm concerned I made this too easy. Would you rather be stranded with no phone, no wallet, no anything in New York City, somewhere random in New York City, or somewhere random in Yellowstone National Park? Let us know your choice at 8772 Radio U. Allie, let's start with Regina.
Okay.
Who says, good morning. Depending upon the weather, I may go Yellowstone because at least it would be peaceful. Yep, if it's dangerously cold, I'm going New York City. Otherwise, I'll go Yellowstone. I'll just hope that my ability to relate to animals and that they inherently like me comes in handy if I come across a dangerous animal in Yellowstone. But if I do get mauled by a big cat, just know I did say, here, kitty, kitty. What a story. What a maze of thoughts we just wandered through.
I love that text chain there, Regina. We also heard from Natasha, who says, it's a toss-up for me because I'm an introvert with social anxiety. I'd probably still pick New York City. At least when I eventually get desperate, I can ask for help.
Tim says, I've seen Ryan Trahan's Penny series. I'll just find a nickel in New York City and be fine.
We heard from Landon. He says, I think you guys need to do... Oh, sorry. He was talking still about the Canadian Aero bar that we were talking about.
We got to go to Canada for our next Food Fight World Tour.
Yes, we do. We heard from Susanna. She says, both, but like Regina said, depends on the weather for what she would pick.
I didn't even factor into the weather in my thoughts.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to know that this is at least a debate for people because I thought this was going to be too easy.
I told you.
The answer's New York City. It's obviously New York City. I think, first of all, everybody's underestimating how big Yellowstone is.
It's pretty big.
And even, obviously, there's people there visiting and park rangers. But, if you're just plopped down randomly with no phone and no money, the odds that you would find yourself to any kind of civilization if the weather was any partly bad, is a long shot.
It could be pretty hard, yeah. I would say the odds of you being plopped randomly in Yellowstone is also pretty rare.
Yeah.
So I would imagine if you got lost in Yellowstone without a phone and without, any money or whatever.
You left your wallet at home for some reason. You forgot your wallet, your phone ran out of battery, and you're lost.
Right. I would think
at least you're on a road.
I would think you'd be on a road, on a trail or something, and so you would at least know which direction to go. But I agree with you. I think New York City is the answer because it's there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
So even though I'd be worried about some dangerous areas of New York, because New York's pretty dangerous in some areas, but I would hope you would find a good Samaritan that would help you out.
Well, you think about it, in New York City, it's surely different for men, I would say, but 99, even if it's a dangerous city, 99.9% of the people there are still normal.
Yeah, and just doing their life.
You have no money, so what are they going to mug you for?
I got nothing for you, buddy.
Yeah, so the odds are you just find a person and they might ignore you, but somebody eventually will help you in some way.
Right.
And you'll find your way to a police station or something. You'll probably be fine.
Well, and
Yellowstone, there's no negotiating with a bear. So there's probably just as much odds that you run into an angry bison or moose as you do a person that's ready to help.
Yeah.
So I just like my odds in New York City because they're near 100% that you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think so. Although I will say probably anyone you run into in Yellowstone would be willing to help you.
Yeah.
Don't know if you could say the same about those in New York.
Yeah.
I feel like New Yorkers are kind of known for being brash and just uncaring.
I don't know. I've seen Spider-Man. I think they might be willing to help out. But then again, that's Spider-Man.
A California space tech startup called GRU Space, as in GRU Space.
Isn't that how Gru spells it in Despicable Me?
Yes, indeed. which I'm like, is that inspired by him? But they've opened reservations for what it says will be the first hotel on the moon. Yeah. With plans to open as early as 2032.
Okay.
The company's founder, get this, 22-year-old Skylar Chan aims to build lunar habitats using inflatable structures and lunar regolith, which I guess is moon soil.
Okay.
Turned into bricks as construction material. So basically sod homes.
Nice.
But yeah, interested space tourists who want to go ahead and put in a deposit to have a room in the GRU Space Hotel can go ahead and put a deposit down for ranging between $250,000 to $1 million.
Is that refundable?
It is not, I don't think. And it also says that the final price is expected to exceed $10 million. So that's just the deposit.
Yeah.
The $250,000
for them
to
to
$1 million.
hold a room that doesn't exist.
That doesn't
to reserve
exist
a room
yet.
that doesn't exist yet.
Which is also like, all of this is super hypothetical. How do you even know this like moon soil is going to work to like build a livable like habitat?
There's a lot of things I am very unclear on so far.
Yeah.
One, and most clearly and importantly, how did this 22-year-old get the clearance to do this?
Right.
Like, who wants to give this person money?
It says he has, the first missions are planned to test technology beginning in 2029 with a small payload on a lunar lander.
Okay.
Before deploying a larger inflatable module and ultimately the hotel, which I guess, again, I don't know who's testing this stuff out.
I'm sorry, how does a 22-year-old rando get access to a lunar lander that can bring a small payload to the moon?
It's giving Nepo baby. He's 22. Skylar Chan, who are you related to?
Yeah.
Who's your dad?
Yeah, we need to know. So that's a question. Furthermore, let's say I deposit and I'm booking this room on the moon.
Yeah.
For what, 2032?
They said the earliest would be 2032.
And how am I going to get there? Is that included? Is transportation included?
I have no idea.
Because that would suck.
Shuttle costs not included.
Yeah, I've got this room booked on the moon. No idea how I'm going to actually arrive at the destination, but it is a plan that I have to get to the moon.
The crazy part to me about space travel is like what astronauts go through to actually travel in space is rigorous, like absolutely rigorous. You know how yesterday we talked about how figure skaters can spin like 300 revolutions per minute? That's what astronauts have to do in centrifuge.
Right.
Like when they're testing. And so like you don't actually want to do that, you know?
And
like it's not very fun.
There should be, I'm sure there's some kind of training program and they have to make sure you're healthy enough to fly into space.
Absolutely.
But
they're going to take your money before they test you.
Yeah, they should have like, you need to work your way up to just going to the moon as far as like not having real toilets and phones and all the things that you like. You know, you need to do some digital detox kind of stuff and go off the grid here on Earth to work your way up to doing that on the moon.
Test it out a little bit.
Because I think you're going to get there and you're like, hey, I'm on the moon. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And I would also like to add that the first crewed mission that's supposed to land on the moon, they're not landing on the moon until next year, 2027. That's Artemis 3. That's the plan.
So they say.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plan.
I'll believe it when I see it.
We don't even know if that's going to happen. Artemis 2 is supposed to happen in April of this year, and they're not even landing on the moon. They're just orbiting around it. So this is just, it seems like a scheme.
And by the way, I believe the moon landing happened.
I do too.
But when it's 2026 and we haven't gone in like 40 years.
Yeah, it's been since 73.
And we keep pushing it back, it does make me question. I'm like, how could they do it in the 60s and we can't do it today?
Man, we need the Russians fighting against us again. We need them racing us, and that'll hopefully motivate us to be faster with this.
This just happened in the small country of Andorra in Europe, which sounds like, doesn't that sound like something from Star Wars?
It does, because Pandora.
Yeah, Pandora, Andor, right? That's a Star Wars thing. Right.
Andor is as a name of a character.
Isn't Andor like one of the planet's countries? I don't know. Either way, that's already getting distracted. In the country of Andorra, which is in Europe, 3 tourists got stranded on a ski slope because they were driving a vehicle, and that is where its GPS told them to go.
Oh, of course.
It's giving Michael from The Office.
Yep.
When he drives into the pond. This is essentially exactly what happened to them. They wound up driving up a ski slope, and before they knew it, the vehicle got stuck, and they were lost, and they needed help.
Wow.
These people, I think we can't be too difficult on these people.
No.
Primarily because these were 3 tourists from the country of Taiwan.
Okay.
In Andorra, which is in Europe.
Yeah.
So, like, they're talking about how these tourists ignored signs that say they needed to have snow chains on their car's tires, and that ignored warnings that there was dangerous terrain and weather. But, like...
Were all of these signs in French?
Yeah, like, were they able to read? Do they know what was going on? I mean, I guess you still they are the ones that chose to vacation in a foreign country, so you got to kind of do your due diligence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if the GPS was just telling them to go this way, I kind of just feel like I understand.
Yeah, I think anyone could fall for this. We've seen this time and time again in like states like Washington and Oregon.
Yeah.
Where like old logger roads, somebody just forgot to close the gate on it or something when the logging isn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody's GPS, because it thinks this is a shortcut, decides to take them that way. And it happens to be the time of the year when it's like, if you go on this road, you are not getting out.
Mm-hmm.
You get stuck there and you might die. And so like that type of stuff happens all the time to any tourist. It doesn't matter where they're from. And, you might have all the signs in the world. It doesn't guarantee somebody's going to see it.
Yeah. I am curious how they manage this, though, because it says like they were, driving around. They were following the GPS. They had gotten lost. The GPS led them to the ski resort, and eventually they got stuck. They had to call emergency services, and they wound up being stranded there for 3 hours. It took 3 cranes to lift their car out of the snow.
3 cranes?
How do you get your car so stuck that you need 3 cranes to get a car out?
How do they get cranes there?
Yeah.
In 3 hours?
This is what I'm wondering. I don't know how this happened. But fortunately, these individuals were all okay. In fact, I have a selfie here of them with their car after they had gotten rescued.
Their car looks like it's in good shape.
Yeah, the car is in good shape, and they are all smiling and happy. So... happy to be rescued and not stranded on a ski slope in Andorra.
If my car needed to get out of a stuck situation where it was stuck,
mm-hmm.
and it needed 3 cranes to do so, I would be shouting hallelujah if that took just 3 hours. That's a miracle that they got out of there that quickly.
It is. They should be very grateful that everything turned out okay for them.
We need to know who runs the logistics for Andorra. Like their emergency systems.
Apparently they've got
They're very effective.
Yeah. I wonder if there's not a lot of emergencies in Andorra. It's a very small country.
That might be.
It's like right between France and Spain. It's one of the tiniest countries in the world.
Yeah, they're like, we have an emergency today, guys. It's our first in 2 months.
Right.
Get the cranes ready.
Then they have to reset the sign. 0 days since an emergency.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.